Right now, we are following breaking news out of both Denver and Aurora. Good morning, everyone. I'm Jordan Chavez.
And I'm Corey Rose. Enforcement actions were reported at apartments in both cities. This morning, we have team coverage. 9 News reporter Brianna Fernandez is in Aurora, but we begin with an active scene in Denver with our Jennifer Meckles. Jennifer, a lot of activity happening out there right now.
Yeah, guys, just to set the scene for a second, we're at Leetsdale and Oneida. Cedar Run Apartments is where the center of this action is right now. There is so little information that's formal that's coming out to tell us exactly what's going on, but we know this is a Homeland Security investigation. You're going to see ICE on some of the law enforcement officers' uniforms. You're also going to see a lot of FBI on uniforms. The FBI, I'm told, is here in a support capacity, that this is not their primary investigation. This entire apartment perimeter is blocked off right now. Let me get out of the way so you can kind of see. And what we're noticing is some tactical vehicles in and out of the apartment complex. Just down the street, behind all these cars that are parked, there was a whole lot of law enforcement agents just kind of centered around one of these buildings just a few minutes ago before the top of the hour. It's hard to tell what exactly they're doing, if they're going in, if they're just speaking to somebody through the door, but very large presence of law enforcement. I've counted already at least 2 to 3 tactical vehicles driving into this apartment complex. I know from Sky 9 that we had a visual on a bus that had been parked in the complex as well. From that visual of that bus, we couldn't see anything happening with the bus. Nobody driving it, nobody loading people in. I have not seen any visual confirmation of arrests, so I want to be real clear what we don't know as well this morning as we stand here in Southeast Denver and tell you what we're seeing. But what we do know is that this is a Homeland Security investigation. We know that there have been various ICE actions all around the country, so that's something we've been watching for here in Denver. There's also this morning, if you look down this street, a lot of people, community advocates, that have come out this morning in protest. They're using bullhorns to shout instructions to people not to open their doors. They're yelling at the agents that they see out here on the ground. There's also a lot of uncertainty for the people who live in this area. I spoke to one man who just got off of a shift working overnight. He can't get into his apartment complex right now, so he's just kind of sitting here waiting for that to clear up. I heard someone mention that they were concerned about potentially a school bus drop-off. I don't know the school bus route, so I'm not sure if there's a bus route that's supposed to come through here, but you know, it's a weekday morning at 8 a.m. There's things happening in and around this area, but now we have an entire apartment complex blocked off as we watch this federal action happen. So guys, that's kind of what we're seeing and the little bit of information we know at this hour, but we're certainly watching a lot of activity in this apartment complex. And now Brianna Fernandez, who's following another law enforcement action at the federal level. She's at 12th and Dallas in Aurora. Brianna, what are you seeing where you're at this morning?
Yeah, Jenny, a very different story than what folks here who live in this area along 12th and Dallas were experiencing. They tell me that ICE was here. Federal officials were also here, just like what you're seeing on your end. So I do want to show you some video that actually folks sent me. They said around 6:15 this morning, that's when they saw a whole bunch of officials, ICE, DEA, FBI, with marked and unmarked vehicles. So 12th and Dallas, this is a location that we've been talking about for quite some time, is the Edge at Lowry Apartments. So in this video, you can see that they have officers blocking 12th and Dallas. They were walking up and down the apartment complex. This is, again, outside of 12th and Dallas at the Edge at Lowry, where we know a number of suspected TDA members have been arrested. So the operation is a third by federal agents since President Donald Trump's inauguration. So ICE has conducted operations in cities including Chicago and New York, targeting the arrest of immigrants without proper documentation. And we are seeing it now. I mean, President Donald Trump, he mentioned Aurora, and we are seeing those ICE raids like you guys mentioned, like Jenny has been seeing on her end. So I do want to come back out here live. I actually just spoke to someone. His name is Michael. He actually lives here at the Edge of Lowry. He's going to come out here in just a couple of minutes and we're going to talk to him off camera. But he was telling me that around 6:15 this morning, there was just banging door to door to door. He, of course, he says he has proper documentation. He did not want to come out because he did not feel safe. But a very different story than what Jenny is seeing right here along 12th and Dallas at the Edge at Lowry Apartments. I'm going to have my photographer Joe Swanson just give you a look of what we're seeing. You saw in those videos there was law enforcement officers. Now it is very quiet out here. You can see that most of these apartments right now, they are boarded up, and that's because they're going to close down the Edge at Lowry Apartments. That's supposed to be coming here in just a couple of days. But again, we're seeing a couple folks come in and out, but not the same response that Jenny Meckles is experiencing on her end with all the ICE raids that are happening happening. Again, this is happening at Aurora at the edge of Lowry. This was earlier this morning, and I was told by folks that they were here for about 15 to 20 minutes. They were here at 6:15. By 6:45, everyone was gone. We arrived here around 6:50, 7 a.m., and this was a completely different scene than what we showed you with those cell phone videos. So still a lot of questions out here. We're trying to figure out, was anyone detained? That is the biggest question, especially here along 12th and Dallas. I'm going to send it back to you guys. For now, I'm live here in Aurora. Brianna Fernandez for 9 News.
Okay, so much quicker situation where Brianna is this morning. Again, she's at 12th in Dallas and Aurora versus what we saw Jennifer Meckles, who is here in Denver. She is at the Cedar Run Apartments, but there is still a very large presence of law enforcement this morning.
And it's been like that for more than an hour now, so very different than what Brianna experienced this morning. Of course, they're developing news as it comes in right now.
Right. Let's recap for everybody just joining us really fast what we know so far and what we saw from Jennifer Meckles and our Brianna Fernandez right there. We know that we saw a bus at least outside the apartment complex from our Sky 9 there. Sky 9 did have to move from the area because there was another plane that we were told that was circling the area. We know that the FBI, the DEA, and Homeland Security are also on scene.
And we have seen a lot of law enforcement out there. We've also, Jenny was saying that she's seeing protesters out there already. Very different situation than what Brianna was seeing, where they came in very quickly and they're out again. We tried to have Sky 9 over the scene at both of them, and Sky 9 had to move out. So we can't really get a really good idea of what's happening overhead. This is video that we got before Sky 9 had to leave, and you can see the bus that was parked at the location where Jennifer Meckles is in Denver.
Exactly. Of course, we have very limited information, as you just heard from Jennifer and Brianna, but as news develops, we will bring that to you throughout the morning.
All right, it's 8:06 right now. Let's take a live look outside right now on your Wednesday morning. This is a live look at the Loveland ski area there on the left, the Eisenhower Johnson Tunnel. Blue skies right now, and we are starting that warm up. We started this morning in the teens. Right. We're going to be warming up close to 70 today. Senior meteorologist Chris Bianchi is joining us right now. It's all because of the winds.
Yeah, all the wind. That's going to be the big difference here as it downslopes and it warms off the Rockies. As a result, we're going to go from temperatures right now about 30 degrees in Denver, though within the last few minutes starting to see those temperatures pick on up for us here in Denver. We're up to 30 for us. Might not sound all that warm, but we were at about 18, 19 degrees a few hours ago. And those temperatures will continue to rise as we get a bit more of a downslope component to the wind. Arvada 23, Fort Lupton, Keensburg, Greeley, though still pretty cold up there, mostly in the teens. But those winds on the light side right now, once these winds start to really crank up here over the next couple of hours by about 1 p.m., 30 to 40 mile an hour winds. This is a warm wind. This is a Chinook, classic Chinook setup for us, which means that those winds will mix out that shallow, cold, dense air, and that'll lead to those much warmer temperatures by early this afternoon. So lots of sunshine for us for today. Temperatures getting into the upper 60s for us here in town, even some 70s for the southeast plains. Warm and windy, but some big changes likely in store for us coming up this weekend. I'll have details on those coming up for you in just a couple of minutes. I'm going to send things over to Lauren for a check of traffic.
Chris, good morning to you. I heard warm and my ears perked up. Wow, close to 70. That is pretty crazy. Let's take a live look at our CDOT cameras right now. This is I-25 and Thornton Parkway. Looking okay. Northbound, moving a little bit slower than southbound here, heading away from us. But let's take a look at our maps, take a look at the bigger picture, because we are seeing a really colorful morning, really mostly on 25, heading in both directions. We're seeing a lot of orange and a lot of red. But I do want to take you to a crash that I'm tracking. I've been looking at this all morning long, and things are getting worse over here. So this is, oh, excuse me, going the wrong way here. This is westbound 6th Avenue after Union Boulevard. We have 2 lanes blocked, moving at 0 miles an hour, not moving at all here. So this has definitely gotten worse throughout the morning. But I want to show you some other things. Westbound 76 from E470 into Commerce City, you have the yellow light, going to take you 16 minutes. And on 225 from 144th to 76, you have the yellow light, going to take you 12 minutes. We'll leave you with some good news. Denver to Boulder, you're looking good. You have the green light, just going to take you 21 minutes.
Lauren, thank you. New this morning, we have new pictures to show you tied to a shooting in Aurora. Aurora PD dropped these photos on social media, hoping for new leads in the case from this past Sunday night. They're not the greatest pictures, but they show the suspect firing a gun inside of the Panda Buffet on East Mississippi, east of Peoria. The restaurant was closing at the time, so no customers were inside. Police say the suspect entered through a side door, pulled a gun, and fired at the victim. He was hospitalized, but is expected to be okay. Anyone with information about this shooting can call Crime Stoppers. That number numbers on your screen.
Denver's longest ever cold weather shelter activation is coming to an end following a month of offering unhoused residents a place to get warm.
But neighbors around the shelter located in the Athmar Park neighborhood are concerned about crime. 9 News reporter Courtney Yoon is digging into Denver police data this morning. She's joining us live in the area. Courtney, statistics show an increase of crime there.
Yes, that's right, Corey and Jordan. Once this warming shelter opened up, the calls started coming in, sometimes multiple times per day. The temporary shelter was housed here at the Denver Prep Academy, the former Denver Prep Academy building. Now, just in January alone, Denver police responded to 32 calls for service at the shelter, compared to 16 calls total in 2024. 9 of those 32 calls resulted in criminal reports. Among them were aggravated assaults, overdoses, trespassing, and criminal mischief. The City of Denver operated emergency shelters at full capacity for a month, offering unhoused residents a place to stay as temperatures dropped below freezing. The city says it activated the shelter 6 times starting on November 4th. The longest stretch it was open was from December 30th to this past Friday. Now, as the shelter shuts down, neighbors say they're questioning whether the shelter belongs in a community surrounded by small businesses and families.
I can't speak for everyone, but I know the neighbors in this immediate area, including myself, are very concerned for our safety and the safety of our children. Children use this sidewalk to walk to school, so they're being exposed to open air drug use, syringes everywhere.
In a statement, the city did address residents' concerns, saying, quote, we can, must, and will do better. Denver police say they're increasing patrols in the area and will continue addressing safety issues with residents. Live in Denver, Courtney Yoon, 9 News.
All right, Courtney, thank you.